I'm Bill.
And I'm Candace. And we're the Disruptors. Good morning, Bill. I'm glad to see that you were able to crawl through the door.
Well, I wouldn't have to if you would allow it to be unlocked, but that's okay. I understand.
I saw your walker coming with the headlights.
Yeah,
and I figured that I better lock the door.
Yeah,
because we just don't know what kind of ruffians might be coming
through.
No,
we have no idea at all. I'm always, excited to be here at the farm, barn, or wherever we're at. It's just
we haven't heard Roger. We've been putting him in at night because we've got raccoon problems.
That's your neighbors with masks on. Anyway,
no, those were raccoons.
Good. We have a special guest today. It's going to stick pins in your head.
You keep pounding the table.
I'm sorry. I did, didn't I? Oh, for Pete's sake! I lost control.
See, this is him. This is Bill. So we have a very special guest here in our studio today, and Leanne Pusateri. Is that correct? Okay, good. Yay! Because I was nervous about saying her last name.
Oh boy,
but she's amazing because she's with Sweet Relief Acupuncture, and welcome to the show.
Thank
you.
Yeah.
I do love acupuncture. I've had it before. Have you ever had acupuncture, Bill?
No, I haven't. I had a fishing needle, a hook stuck in my ear once because I casted wrong.
Okay. So that was like, were you like pretending to be a voodoo doll?
No, I was pretending to be fish bait. Let's move on.
Okay, the truth is that Bill was a human voodoo doll. Okay, so Leanne, tell us about yourself. Why acupuncture?
Yeah.
Actually, when I applied to the program, I went to Bastyr. I wasn't even interested in doing acupuncture on people. So I was at Bastyr for the Herbal Science program, loving plants and the whole bit. And I learned about a certification program to learn Chinese herbs. But you had to be a licensed acupuncturist or in the acupuncture program to take it. And so I thought, well, I have no desire to stick needles in people, but I guess I could learn so I could learn the herbal part.
Sure.
But when I got into the program, I just fell in love with the whole medicine because I can get immediate results with needles, and needles don't hurt, and people are always surprised every single time. That was it?
See, Bill? They don't hurt.
That was it? I didn't even feel that go in.
Nope, honest, they don't hurt.
No problem.
Well, John Bastyr is not just, they're a leader. Are they not in their trainings and stuff like that?
Yeah, they're like the Harvard of natural medicine.
Yeah, so, they are. It's an amazing, amazing place. So,
yeah, their biggest program is the naturopath program, obviously. And then the acupuncture is the second largest.
Wow.
But they are a university. They're not a college anymore. So
I did not know that. Okay, so they've upped the ante. I like that.
Yeah. So they have bachelor's degrees, master's, and doctorate programs. They have a bunch of different psychology programs, exercise science, of course the herbal science program, nutrition programs. They've got a lot.
Well, that's a lot of...
Just about everything you need, Candace. Just about everything.
I do. I love the whole holistic aspect of medicine. So I think it's not as... we want a drive-through. I have a headache. I want to go now, right now. But the truth is that sometimes...
They want the magic bullet, and a magic bullet does not exist.
Oh,
no.
Darn.
But,
the magic bullets are just covering up the symptoms, and if you cover it up, the problem is still there, and it's still getting worse. You're just not feeling it. Wow. Which is the scary part.
So tell us now, when you do acupuncture, and you stick of course, in Candace's... situation.
You tap.
We'd have to use number 29 sinker nails, your little greeny nails.
No, that's the human voodoo doll, and that's you, Bill.
But when you get to the point of actually putting in the needles, now, are you stimulating the nerves in the body? Is that what you're doing by rotating the needles or placing the needles?
We are stimulating what's called qi. It's hard to describe what qi is. Mm-hmm. So it's akin to the nervous system, but it also stimulates the endocrine system, the digestive system. It stimulates a bunch of different systems in the body, not just the nervous system.
Do you believe... Sorry, Bill, I'm going to cut you off right there.
Figures.
Do you believe... because those things... We have an absorbent amount of autoimmune disorders that it's still on the rise. So I mean, I don't think we've come to the end of it. Do you
the autoimmune textbook is like 6 inches big.
Oh,
deep.
Hello.
So
Wow.
yeah.
Do you see in the
And I can't
future
afford
and
it
even
right
now? Well, do you see though that acupuncture in the very near future being a leader in that? I want to say that treatment where to help the digest, to help the gut, healthy guts.
Acupuncture alone, no.
Okay.
So acupuncture is supposed to be in conjunction with herbal medicine and dietary changes. So I do believe that the majority of autoimmune diseases, just like cancer, we're giving it to ourselves because of all of the bad food that we eat, the highly processed this and that. People don't eat enough vegetables, which have all of the micronutrients that our body is craving. And by changing what you eat, getting on the right herbal formula, and then acupuncture for the immediate pain and stuff, yes, it's cheaper. You don't need all the medications. In fact, you can get people off of all of their medications by that combination.
Will that help with, I mean, I'm anticipating just based off what you just said, you being more busy with people coming off of opiates that maybe have had long-term, I mean, I don't know what the whole process is for all of that because I'm not on that.
That's going to be huge. I think that's next year. I can't remember.
Oh, I was just speaking to a nurse, and they had just gotten a notice that they're no longer, they can only prescribe opiates, for 10 days after a surgery, and then they have to be able to come back in and be reevaluated to wean them off. So if somebody, though, is in chronic pain, I don't know what all that looks like in the medical industry. So
I'm not sure. I know. I have had patients who've come in and they've been on opiates for years, decades. And the opiates only take the edge off the pain, but they're afraid to go off of them because they have that edge.
Sure.
And it's horrible coming off opiates.
So many people actually get to the point where they can't come off of it psychologically or physically.
Physically, they could die because it's so.
Really?
It's just they've been on them so long. It's just like alcoholism.
Same thing, actually.
You know, if you go, there's some alcoholics. If you go dead turkey,
they can't. The body can't handle it.
Yeah, it can't handle the detox, and they can die. That's why they have to be in a hospital. Opiates are the same thing.
Awful.
And so acupuncture, one of the things that acupuncture does is get the body to release endorphins, which is a happy hormone. It's a painkiller, and it has been shown to actually stimulate the limbic system in the brain, which the drugs are doing as well. So acupuncture can actually override the drugs and help people get off of them.
Well, that's pretty powerful.
Yeah.
So it's actually then it's short-circuiting the brain by stimulating the nerve to tell the brain you really don't need that. The pain's starting to release. I feel all right. I'm balancing out. Is that kind of would that be kind of a summary if you stayed on the proper diet and had the acupuncture treatments?
Yeah, that can,
I know a lot. The only reason I dabbled into this is my mother unfortunately got onto. It started with that little pill from Canada, that little pink pill with codeine in it. From there, she went to Darvon compound. From there, she ended up passing away at the last of her life, and she was addicted to oxycodone. And I lived through that for many, many years, watching the progress, because she had 11 back surgeries.
Oh.
One sold, they had taken and put braces on the spine, screws, everything they could, because she had such terrible back pain. But the problem is, in her later life, even though they pretty well given up on doing a lot of surgical, technical stuff, they'd gone to the end of the book, it was to the point where they were just passing her out stuff to keep her happy. And it just kind of destroys the thought of pills. And I can understand why the government or whoever it is legislating this, getting these people off this stuff. But what kind of actual when we get into working with acupuncture, how long would it take to get somebody to the point where they would be more inclined to look at acupuncture than popping a pill bottle and having a pill? Does it take a long period of time to break their system and get it to regulate?
Well, the first thing that you have to conquer is the person themselves. Do they want to get off?
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah, that's a great question.
if they want to get off, there is hope, and they will do anything they can. If they don't want to get off, you know, it's like, no, I like my medication. I don't want to get off of it. They're addicted to it. And so, yeah, they have to be in the right mind.
They just have to hit the wall, I guess, is the terminology they use out on the street. We have to hit the wall to realize that we're in trouble.
They think that acupuncture is going to hurt no matter how many times you tell them it's not going to. Friends, family members can tell them. They still won't believe it.
Yeah, it never hurt.
And
It never hurt for me, so.
yeah, it doesn't. The needles are like the size of a hair shaft.
Wow, that's pretty tiny.
Yeah, they're really just skinny.
They're very tiny.
Very tiny.
So you gotta want to get off of them, or else nothing's gonna work.
Oh, that's a wonderful. It's a tough subject to really look at because a lot of people don't realize that they're really getting hooked to taking that pill every morning, having a cup of coffee, and fighting the pain instead of going through. And I know a lot of doctors will call it pain management. I went through that with my back, and I found that the best management I could do was stay away from the pain management clinic. Because I just got to the point where I had to just mentally take care of it. But when we go into acupuncture, now this originally started with the Chinese, is that correct? Back way centuries ago?
Asian countries. I'm not really sure which country it started in.
It started back in
but it's like 10, 15,000 years old.
Wow.
Some people say it's 2,000 years old. That's not true. 2,000 years ago, the first Chinese medical text was printed and published.
2000.
How cool.
And so, there's thousands of years of research and trial and error before that book was made. So, written.
What would be a good thing for you to have a understanding today? Because we're just talking about this just generally about acupuncture. But what point would you really like to express about the procedure and not to be scared of the needles, and how can you get somebody ready to come into your clinic and say, okay, I want to look like a porcupine?
Well, what I do, you don't look like a porcupine. For most people, 1 or 2 needles and that's it.
That's it.
Yeah, the technique that I do is very unique. Fewer needles, and I'm getting a better response. So I can treat anything. The majority of what I treat is pain. And like I said, 1 or 2 needles, and I can make the pain go away. It's gone. It can go from an 8 to a 0.
Wow.
In
Isn't that
5
amazing?
minutes.
Well, now, acupuncture isn't the only thing, because you'd said something about, in your training being herbal medicine.
Yes.
Do you offer that?
Absolutely.
Can you because it sounds like it's a really
passion.
good fit. So
Yeah. Well, herbs and food are the gas in your car. And if you have no gas, you're not going anywhere. Mm-hmm. And so acupuncture works the electrical system of your car. And so if you don't have gas, you can turn it over all you want. It's not going anywhere. And so I require all my patients to eat before they come, because if you don't, acupuncture automatically lowers your blood sugar and your blood pressure levels. So you can get off the table and be a little dizzy or nauseous because it dropped your blood sugar levels too low.
I did used to get off the table dizzy.
You get out of the chair here in the studio.
Listen.
I've seen. I
Listen,
don't
you.
want the audience to
Walk with
understand
the
what
walk.
happened.